Pleasure to be here with you in the Economy of Francesco, Professor Capra. My name is Tamires Rezende. I'm a PhD candidate in business administration from Brazil, and now I am here in England as visiting researcher at University of Kent. As you said, major problems of our time are systemic problems. Let's talk about the Amazon. Most part of the Amazon forest is in Brazil, but we have the Pan-Amazon, which includes 8 countries that make frontiers with us. How make public policies considering these complexities, and how ecological literacy can help us to achieve the sustainable development goals?
Well, this is a big question. I can tell you that the last part of the question, how can eco-literacy and systemic thinking help the sustainability, the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs? I have recorded a video of half an hour about this very topic. So it would take me too long to repeat it. But if you go to my Capra course website, then under the trailer, you will see the link to a Vimeo page. And there's this video called The Heart of the Matter. And there's also a version with Portuguese subtitles. So if some of your friends don't speak English that well, they can listen to that too. But now let me come to the main part of your question, the Amazon. I mentioned sustainable agriculture as a way to draw down CO2 from the atmosphere. And of course, planting trees is another way. And recently, there has been a very exciting study at the university, the Swiss University, ETH, in Zurich. And this study was done by scientists led by Tom Crowther, who is a professor at this ETH and has a lab called Crowther Lab with a group of young ecologists. And they have analyzed where trees could be planted on the earth in such a way that they don't interfere with human settlements and with agricultural land. And they have found that 1.2 trillion trees could be planted. And they have also examined where they should be planted and which kinds of trees. And they have estimated that these trees, the total of these trees, could remove 2/3 of all human emissions of CO2. So this is by far the most effective and the cheapest way to alleviate climate change. And what we have to do is raise public awareness, and I think we have to do it not only in terms of scientific studies, but also emotionally through works of art, through songs, poems, and other means. You could, for example, convey the idea that the tropical rainforests are the lungs of the earth, and they are being destroyed. And so Gaia, the living planet, now has problems breathing. And Gaia has a fever. She's overheated. Now, as we all know, these are the symptoms of the COVID pandemic. So there's this link between what we're now experiencing individually and in our communities and the planet as a whole. So this is the systemic link that needs to be made. I'm afraid I've taken a long time, but these are really profound questions. Thank you, Tamires.
Can I make one more question?
Very briefly.
You have to ask Valentina.
Yeah. The coronavirus is making us to reflect about our lives. How could it put in practice the qualitative growth in the post-pandemic society?
Well, I think what is happening now is that we see that the pandemic has a lot of tragic negative consequences for individual health and for our economic life, for the world's economies, for our jobs, our financial well-being, in addition to our personal well-being. But when you look at it from a planetary ecological perspective, it also had a lot of positive consequences. You know, when I look out of my home across the San Francisco Bay to the city of San Francisco, it is completely clear all the pollution has gone. Normally there's a lot of smog. Now in Venice, the giant cruise ships are no longer entering lagoon, and people are seeing fish again in the Venetian canals. In India, in Punjab, they are seeing a magnificent view of the Himalayas, 200 kilometers away, which they haven't seen in 30 years. So these are positive effects from a radical reduction of our activities. But the same effects could be reached by changing our activities. So if we switch to renewable energies, to regenerative agriculture, to qualitative growth, we would achieve the same results. So I think the COVID pandemic are Gaia's lessons for us. And the question is, will humanity heed those lessons?
Thank you very much.